I have not paid for flights or hotels in years. Whether it's going on vacation or traveling back home to visit family, a strategy called travel hacking has allowed me to do this all for free. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the same. Let's go. Hey everybody, my name is Arjun and welcome back to the channel where we talk about all things personal finance. Today we are talking about travel hacking. In simple terms, it's the process of quickly earning points and then cleverly redeeming them for travel purchases. Hacking might make it sound like it's this dangerous, mysterious thing, but don't worry, it's 100% legal. Many of you are likely making travel plans for the holidays, so I figured now is a great time to share this with you all. I'm gonna break this video down into two parts: earning of travel rewards and then deploying them in the most efficient manner. I want this video to be practically useful, which is why I'll be going over a live example of exactly how I utilize this strategy. There'll be plenty of other juicy nuggets along the way, so do stick around. Alright, so part 1 is earning of travel rewards. The best way to get into the travel hacking game is through credit cards. Many cards give you attractive welcome bonuses for signing up. For example, I got 60,000 points or a minimum of $900 in free travel for my Chase Sapphire Reserve card. Now, this is more than enough points for your first free flight. It does come with a $550 annual fee, but the benefits make it a net positive for me. In case any of you are interested, I'll leave a link to this card down in the description box below. Since then, I've opened up many more cards, giving me thousands of dollars in welcome bonuses. Some other popular cards that travel hackers use include the American Express Platinum, the Capital One Venture X, and the Citi Premier card, in addition to the Chase Sapphire ones. All these cards will require you to meet a minimum spend before you get the bonus. So what I do is, when I know there's a big purchase coming up, like let's say I'm buying a new laptop or there's medical bills, I open up a new card and put those transactions on it. This way I'm not overspending to reach that threshold, which is exactly what the credit card companies want you to do. Pro tip: if you're a couple, then one of you can sign up and then refer the other for a nice boost in points as well. I also intentionally use specific cards for specific purposes. This allows me to get the most points possible for every transaction. If you want to see my exact setup, I'll link to a detailed video up here. Alright, so now that you have enough points, let's talk about using them for free travel. I'm gonna show you a live example of how I would do this. First thing I have to do is to pick a destination. Hawaii is known to be a very popular vacation spot, and it's also pretty expensive. So let's go with that. Since I live in Texas, let's say I want to travel from Houston to Honolulu. I'm booking for one passenger in economy. Given these details, there are 3 different ways that I can book this flight, and I'm going to walk through each one. The first option is the one that we're most familiar with: booking online through cash. Most credit cards will have some form of cashback, so you'll likely get a small kickback if you choose this option. My go-to is Google Flights, so let me hop over to my laptop and show you. Once I choose Houston to Honolulu, I see a whole bunch of flights show up. I don't want to deal with the hassle of stopovers, so I filter for non-stop flights only. I choose my departing flight and then I choose my returning flight. Google tells me that this will cost $842 round trip through United Airlines. Since I now know the exact flight and its cost, I note it down for later. The second option to book flights is through your credit card's travel portal. If you have eligible cards from Chase, American Express, Citi, or Capital One, they each have their own travel portal. Since I personally have the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I'm looking into the Ultimate Rewards portal. I log in and search for the same flight from Houston to Honolulu. It tells me that it would cost 46,651 points and $142 in taxes and fees. Now we have to calculate a very important metric called cents per point. This shows you the real value of your redemption. In this case, I know the flight costs $842 from earlier. Then I subtract out the taxes and fees and divide by the number of points. This gives me a value of 1.5 cents per point for this redemption. This is expected. One of the benefits of the Sapphire Reserve is 1.5 cents per point bookings on the travel portal. Just like last time, I note this down as well. The final option is to transfer points over to travel partners. Each card program has its own list of partners that you can send points over to. They usually transfer instantly at a 1:1 ratio, but there are a few exceptions. From the example earlier, we were looking at a United Airlines flight. We see that United is a travel partner for Chase, which is great. So this means that I have the option to transfer points over to United's Mileage Plus program and book on their site. When I search for award availability on United, I see this flight would cost me 64,000 points and $11 in fees. Doing the same calculation, I see this redemption is only worth 1.3 cents per mile, which is not great. Now, here's a tip that not many people know. Airlines are part of alliances, which we can use to our advantage. The big three are SkyTeam, oneworld, and Star Alliance. For example, American Airlines is part of the oneworld alliance, but doesn't fly directly to Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan Airlines, which is also part of oneworld, obviously does. So now, since they're part of the same alliance, a US customer wanting to visit Sri Lanka can now do so even through American Airlines. So basically, it just allows partner airlines to share passengers more easily. The key point being, you can use miles from one airline to take a flight from a partner airline. Coming back to the example, United is part of the Star Alliance. So this means that I can book that same United flight from any Star Alliance partner. However, Chase only has a limited set of transfer partners. So you take a list of Chase partners and a list of Star Alliance members and see which match across the two. So now we know that we can book that same United flight with Chase points on Air Canada and Singapore Airlines as well. By the way, if you appreciate tips like this, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting content. Looks like Air Canada does not have award availability for this flight, which can happen. Partner airlines only release a small set of seats, so it's likely that they got sold out. But when I check on the Singapore Airlines site, I see the same flight for only 39,000 points round trip. Running the numbers again, that gives me a value of 2.2 cents per point. This is higher than the United website from earlier, so I note this down for option 3. Alright, so now that I have the numbers for all the options in front of me, I need to pick the one with the best value. In this case, that would be option 3, transferring to an airline partner. Personally, I tend to go this route when I'm getting at least 2-ish cents per point in value. Sometimes there can also be point transfer bonuses, which can increase value even further. To compare, you only get 1 cent per point in value when you redeem for statement credit or gift cards. So those same 38,000 points would only be worth $380 in statement credit, for example. But through a little extra work, we were able to get an $840 flight out of it. The example I showed you was for a simple economy flight. However, the real deals happen when you search for business class or first class tickets. I've seen people get upwards of 10 cents per point for these tickets. So it's entirely possible that some folks in these fancy seats are not necessarily rich. They're just smart with points. Just remember that once you transfer points, you can't transfer back. So only do this when you're certain there is award availability. In this example, I picked Hawaii and Chase Ultimate Rewards. But you can apply the same process for any destination and travel card. Not only that, it applies to hotels too. You follow the same steps and decide which option works best. This is what I did when I visited Cancun recently. Both my flights and hotel were booked through credit card points without me spending a single dime. If you want to do the same, here is a step-by-step summary. Sign up for a rewards credit card, meet the minimum spend to get the bonus, redeem those points cleverly, downgrade the card if you no longer see value, and rinse and repeat. Also, this should go without saying, but rewards only work if you're responsible with your cards and pay your bills in full. And I can't stress that enough. It's also usually the higher tier cards that offer these benefits, so you'll need to have a good credit score before applying too. All this packaged together is exactly how I travel for free. Many of these cards come with priority pass lounge access, which is a nice travel perk as well. You've probably realized that this process does take time. I spend anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes depending on how complex the booking is. A tool that might be helpful with this is called awardhacker.com. For a given route, it shows you award availability for all partner programs. However, it can be hard to make sense of the numbers unless you fully understand the process. Sometimes I've noticed it can be slightly off as well. For example, it still shows the old redemption rate of 35,000 points on Singapore Airlines. That's why it's important to understand each step manually first before relying on other tools. I'm hoping this video helped you with exactly that. Now you can go out and see the world without breaking the bank. If you have any questions, do comment down below and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.